Hello and welcome to Tech Magazine. I am your host Tracy Ngeno. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have so much in store. I hope you enjoy. Now, the Mercedes EQE is a very interesting ride.
It is projected that e-commerce revenues in Kenya will reach over 1.5 million US dollars.
So we'll install some called the DC fast charging stations, which means for public transport which operate between their region or their route is already specified. So we'll have charging stations at each of these points where they stop.
Welcome back, and on today's news, we have the Kenya ICT Ministry, which has announced plans to examine all the e-commerce platforms to ensure that they have licenses for their businesses, and those that are running without will be surely closed.
It is projected that e-commerce revenues in Kenya will reach over 1.5 million US dollars by the end of this year, and that will grow to over 2.3 million dollars by 2025. While the penetration of products will grow, the profit margins are expected to reduce, and it is therefore critical for e-commerce players to plan ahead to reduce cost drivers and increase technology-driven solutions. The Kenyan government, private sector entities, and other partners are supporting sustainability through digital training and skills for Kenyan youth eager to participate in digital markets and trade.
So the directive has been given by the CA Joe Musheru. He is quoted to be calling upon the incoming CA Ezra Chiloba to enhance its enforcement activities across the country to ensure that those firms operating without licenses are weeded out of the market, for they are not undercutting licensed operators and denying the government of revenues from license fees and taxes. He added that these unregistered businesses pose a risk to consumers who have no redress when their items are lost by these firms, CS Joe Musheru mentioned. The CA defines e-commerce as the trading or facilitation of trading in products or services using computer networks such as the internet, among others. The date for the activity has not been given, but it is now clear that e-commerce platforms that have been running their operations without licenses will be locked in. Ezra Chiloba wants to ascertain the size and growth of e-commerce in the country. During the pandemic, most businesses were forced to sell their products online. The sales have also seen a boom in delivery or courier services, but it's increasingly hard to easily find addresses for most Kenyan households. The DG highlighted that the National Addressing System, NAS, still needs some work. It has been a while since the CA communicated the launch of NAS. However, the development is yet to be seen. The CA boss said the success of e-commerce is pegged on the ease of reaching consumers where they are. That's why we have enhanced the effort to implement a robust NAS that will greatly transform this frontier. Tech giant Google has announced a plan to invest $1 billion over a period of 5 years to support Africa's digital transformation. According to the company, the investment focuses on enabling fast, affordable internet access for Africans, building healthful products, supporting entrepreneurship and small businesses, and helping nonprofits to improve lives across Africa. The announcement was made at Google's first ever Google for Africa event, held virtually and live streamed. The planned $1 billion shillings investment announced by Sundar Pichai, CEO of Google and Alphabet. Last week, Facebook's apps went down not only once but twice. The first one was a 6-hour global outage, and the second one affected relatively few users. The outage meant Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram were unavailable for a while. Instagram is now working on a new in-app feature that will alert its users when the platform is experiencing an outage or technical issue and when it gets resolved. This is Instagram's effort to be more transparent, and adds that they won't be sending a notification each time there's an outage, but when they see that its users are confused and looking for answers. Tesla Incorporation must pay nearly $150 billion to a black former worker who said he suffered racial abuse at the electrical car maker's San Francisco Bay Area factory. The jury in San Francisco agreed that Owen Diaz was subjected to racial harassment and a hostile work environment. Diaz alleged in a lawsuit that he was harassed and faced daily racist epithets, including the N-word, while working at Tesla's Fremont plant in 2015 and 2016 before quitting. Diaz was a contracted elevator operator. Diaz alleged that employees drew swastikas and left racist graffiti and drawings around the plant. He contended that supervisors failed to stop the abuse. Tesla's progressive image was a facade, papering over its regressive, demeaning treatment of African American employees, the lawsuit said. Diaz was awarded the amount for emotional distress and punitive damages. Uber in London is facing legal action over its use of facial recognition software that allegedly discriminates against people of color. 3 former workers have launched employment tribunal claims in the United Kingdom against Uber, accusing the company of unfair dismissal after its facial recognition system failed to identify them. The legal claims were launched this week with help from 2 unions, the Independent Workers' Union of Great Britain and the App Drivers and Couriers Union. Union officials and Uber drivers staged a protest outside the company's offices in London on Wednesday. The unions allege that Uber's facial recognition system, which is used to verify the identity of drivers and couriers, is not able to effectively identify people with darker skin. Some drivers say their Uber accounts were terminated because the technology does not work. That is all we had for news today. We will take a short break, but stay tuned. We will be back with Tech Talk with Kobe Mugenyu featuring Opibus.